Guys, check out what I just got in the mail. This is the rarest engine OS ever made, unless I'm mistaken. This thing's got a boost chamber built in. See that thing right there, that blue thing? Oops. Like that. Like better. Alright, here we go. Like that. They call that a boost chamber. They actually put that on from the factory. And it's got that little hose and it goes over there to the front, to the venturi, they call it. So, this engine's brand new. I found it on eBay. Never been run. I don't know if you'll be able to see that in there. Look at that, not a carbon deposit in there anywhere. Can't wait to put this in the Kyosho. No, not that Kyosho. That's a Kyosho V1. That one's got the .12 CVR. That one puts out twice the power of the normal CV. I can't wait to run that one. That one's brand new too. But this one's going in the Kyosho GT2. No, it's a GT1. I have the GT1, not the GT2. I was bidding on a GT3 last night, but I kind of gave up last minute and decided to get another car. I'm gonna try and get this IGT8. But anyway, I've got a Nova Rossi coming for that one. But this one I want to put in the Kyosho, the GT. This was supposed to have 2.1 horsepower, 2.15. I found an article here online about it. Right there. See what it says. It says the engine was $290 when it was new. The bore is 16.6 and the stroke is 16 millimeters, so it's got a shorter stroke than a bore. So that means it should be better for high revving, but ironically it's not. So typically, when you have a longer stroke, they call that a long stroke engine, and that's what most of the engines nowadays have. This engine, I guess, is like the predecessor to the Adam Drake model that they have now. Something similar, because they say it's built with all top-of-the-line components. And here, saying its peak torque is at 21,400 RPM, but its practical RPM range can go up to 40,000 RPM. Which they claim is their max RPM, and the peak horsepower is at 24/7 and 2.15 horsepower. They've got a dynograph here. This is the dynograph. Let me show you this other stuff real quick here first. We talk about the needle and the carburetor and stuff here. 7.5 inch. What do you call it? The little venturi thing there. Can't really see it very well right now with that poor light. Sorry, it's horrible. Anyway, that's the engine. And they say it's got a chrome-plated sleeve, new crankshaft with lubrication channels. This thing over here, where my cursor is on the top right, that looks really strange compared to all the rest of the cranks that we have nowadays. But you can see how it's been fully bored out. It should be ultra lightweight. It says billet connecting rod and lightweight piston, aluminum piston, 3.5 grams. What else does it say? Oh, here, this is kind of important right here. In Japan, the environmental regulations are extremely strenuous, and the chrome plating is extremely expensive. So OS reserves chrome plating sleeves for only its very best engines, including this one, the vo1b, which is what they're calling this thing. I guess it's a subsidiary of the RZ, I don't know. But on the side of the engine it says OS Max RZ, and the sub is the sub name or whatever, second name would be the vo1b. Anyway, it says the sleeve has snurl transfer ports, which basically means it's better for scavenging. It's been designed for high scavenging, and one boost port and an exhaust port. Having 4 ports doesn't sound impressive when you're bench racing. So what they're talking about is put it on the bench and they dyno test it here. So this red line is the horsepower curve and the blue line is the torque curve. So the horsepower is much higher than the torque, but the torque is coming in at 1.4 horsepower and peaking at around 22,000, 21 to 22, and the horsepower peaks at right around 25,000 RPM. That's basically all the article goes into. It talks a little bit about the boost chamber here, which is actually the back plate. So that back plate is what they're calling the boost chamber. And so you can see how much it comes out. So that's a lot of room in there, the air to, combust or whatever. It's got to mix with the oil and gas and then, create a Venturi effect or whatever, or atomize. So let's see what it says here. The boost chamber. It says the V01's backplate isn't just a backplate. It says the OS caps the backplate to form an empty chamber that's joined to the block's Venturi section, which is the area directly beneath the carburetor, via pressure fitting and a short length of tubing, which is what we see here. This awesome little thing. It's freaking awesome. I can't believe they don't do this anymore. I guess it didn't work. It was just some kind of, experiment. Anyway, I can't wait to try it. And it says, although it was called a boost chamber, the design doesn't actually supply boost in the sense of increased induction volume or velocity. And it says the engine or engines with aggressive induction port timing, such as the V01b, which is what this engine is, it says can suffer from reversion pulses at low RPM, and these can cause the air and fuel mixture to flow back up out through the carburetor. So you've probably seen that on your nitro engine. Sometimes the fuel and shit comes spraying out. That's because it has a real high induction timing, port timing. So I guess they do that to try and get as much horsepower out of it as possible, but I guess you've got to have some kind of scavenging effect. So what would have to happen is, in the beginning you would kind of choke it or whatever, like in the old days where you put the choke on your 2-stroke or whatever, and then after you turn off your choke or whatever, once the engine starts running, creates more vacuum, it starts pulling more of the air-fuel mixture in, and then you can turn off the choke entirely. So maybe at the beginning it might be better to try and choke it a little bit when you start it. Anyway, it's going to go in my Kyosho GT2, in my GT1, sorry. I don't know why I say GT2. Anyway, it's just like the GT2, but the GT1 is a smaller, shorter chassis. It's a blue chassis. And the GT2, I have a GT2 chassis. I haven't upgraded yet, though, because I like the short chassis because it steers better. The other ones, the longer one's better for high speed. But anyway, mine goes just as well at high speed. But that's the engine there, guys. That's like OS Max's most rare engine you'll ever see. I'm fixing to put, I was bidding on one last night and somebody stole it from me at the last minute. I should have bid higher. It was a GT3 and it was only at like 450 bucks, but it was 500 bucks basically out the door. And I was just like, man, I don't really want that because I already have like 2 or 3 GTs. But it came with a bunch of extra parts, and I was thinking I could use all those parts to get my other ones going, because they need parts. And anyway, so now I'm bidding on the IGT8, and I've got another engine coming for that one. Hopefully I get that car, but that's going to be a P5 Nova Rossi. And then I got the classical engine over there, the RB modified, RB Concepts. Let me get that one. I'll show you. There we go. looking at all these engines makes my mouth water. Oh, yeah, this one even came. See, this is a RB concept, like, brand new in the box. You know. But anyway, this is the engine here. I'm gonna put that one in a Kyosho GT2 as well. It came with extra connecting rod there, some stickers, and there's the engine, brand new. Man, I don't know if you guys know about RB concepts, but these engines are by far the best engines I've ever seen in the world. I mean, in my opinion, they blow Nova Rossi out of the water. They're far more fuel efficient, they run a lot cooler, they last just as long, if not longer, and make even more horsepower and use less fuel. So I can't believe these guys went out of business, man. They were even offering $100 if you turned in any engine, running or not, and you purchased a new engine from them. You'd get $100 off any engine you wanted to buy from them. And they just lacked proper advertising. Otherwise, I would have been buying engines from them long ago, man, before they went out of business. These engines are the best engines you'll ever find. So if you can find any of the RB engines, man, these are great. I've got another one in a Mugen 10th scale on-road car, and that engine is the X15. That's like the baddest engine I've ever seen. Once I got that RB engine, I realized that company was second to none, and I had to go get more. And so I got this one, and then I got the S7 Worlds. But anyway, I'm gonna send off the used ones and get them repanched by Adam Drake. But anyway, just wanted you to see some of the engines that I got and the projects I got now. So I'll show you when I get the next engine and the next car and get them installed in the car, and we'll keep on rocking and rolling. I'll see if this engine makes any more horsepower than this engine, which I seriously doubt it will. But anyway, we'll just run some tests, and then I'll run it against the Nova Rossi. I got a couple of GT cars, the Kyoshos, and I'll put them side and see which one actually makes more power, which one makes more speed, or whatever. Just interesting to see and experiment with this boost chamber thing. You know, it's really cool to me. But anyway, talk to y'all later, man. Peace.